Good morning, Marshall.
Good morning, Cam.
We didn't say cheers. Isn't that funny?
Whoa. Cheers, Cameron.
Well, do you know why I didn't? Well, because not only did Steven Crowder apparently steal our thing, I think David Crowder did too. It's just a problem of the Crowders, man.
You know why David Crowder stole ours?
Yes,
He loves us.
That's the best joke you've ever said. Wow, we got right into it on that. Wow. If you don't know what that means, just look up David Crowder's cover, Sloppy Wet Kiss, an unforeseen kiss. Welcome to the Average Apologist podcast. It's early here, and we're ready to talk about serious things. We've been going through Matthew 24. I think part 4 will be out by the time you listen to this, which means we're in verse 3 probably.
Dude, we're in the future right now.
We're in the future, yeah. Yeah, when you hear this, I mean, who knows what could have happened. I might have a child by the time you hear this.
Whoa.
That's great. Well, I have a child outside the womb.
There you go, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been good. Matthew 24. I think it's good to break it up because it's such a heavy topic sometimes, and it's. I think the studies are good, but I like to, put fun ones in between. What do you got, dude? You got a joke? You're laughing.
I know. I just. Oh man.
That was probably the best joke you've ever said, man. Did you?
It's just
It floats so well, dude.
what people probably don't know about us, dude, is we're always, well, maybe they do, but we're always thinking in
Skits.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you and I could probably, if we sold out to the world.
Well, we don't have to sell out to do skits, but.
No.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If we sold out to the world, dude, we could probably make.
We'd be like Lock and Rind. You know what I'm saying?
Who is that?
Instead of Key and Peele.
Oh.
Because the key goes in the lock. And
nice, dude. Yeah, that was funny.
That was bad, dude.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
I take everything back.
Yeah.
All right.
We do skits, though.
Yeah.
In fact, if someone wants to help us do that and produce us, we will.
Yeah,
we will do them. We're scared, though. Because once you start doing like we've talked about this, once you start doing comedy,
you lose all respect.
You can't have respect and
but
comedy.
Here's the thing. I feel like we've lost respect already.
Yeah, we don't have that.
People are already skipping this episode.
That's why I'm excited to age, because I'm like, maybe it just kicks in later. Maybe the respect comes in.
I remember when you were 29 back in the day. Yeah. And you were like, I can't wait to turn 30. I just feel like people are going to respect me more.
Then when I turn 30, I'm like, I think it's 35. How far do I keep going? Well, you got to have a goal and a hope. Otherwise, you get sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway.
What are we talking about today, Cameron?
Thanks for asking, Marshall. Today's topic is how to discourse well.
How to what?
Discourse. Is to get off course is what that means. Now, how to discourse, how to engage in just fruitful conversation. Mm-hmm. Whether that's a debate, whether that's I think mostly I'm thinking in terms of like debate or like online, you get some keyboard warriors out
on
there.
X.
Yeah. KB Dubs.
Are you on X?
No.
You have an
I deleted it.
Okay, but you have you don't have an account at all.
No, I fully deleted it.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Why did you do that?
Dude, Twitter is like I feel like the other social media platforms just have more safeguards. But yeah, every now and then I just come across some that's like pretty explicit on X, and just not safe.
Yeah,
so just delete it.
Good call, dude.
Yeah. Grace and I talked about it quite a bit before, because I'm like, there's part of me that really wanted it because I wanted to like see what I had it for research and education purposes, like to see what my favorite theologians or whoever is saying,
Sure.
But yeah, just wasn't cool, man.
Yeah. I know that from mine, I'm not on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or X.
That's where the intellects go.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I don't have it.
They wouldn't let me make one.
Yeah. I couldn't figure out the login.
It's like, create a password. I'm like, I don't know the password. It's like, create one. I'm like, I don't know it.
Yeah. No, but the Twitter world is known for discourse,
Yeah.
from my understanding.
Yeah.
And not great discourse either.
Correct.
Pretty
Yeah.
spicy.
Yeah.
And within Christian circles,
It is very spicy.
allegedly.
It's like, no matter what you say, you're going to have, depending on your, like, you know, your following, right? Or your kind of what algorithms you fall into and what's being recommended to who. But depending on what camp you kind of are clearly associated with, that's what will box you in an algorithm. No matter what you say, you're going to have like 5 different views. And within those views, there's like at least 100 people, and they're all chiming in, they're retweeting, they're commenting on threads of threads of threads. And it's like, you can't really say anything without it getting shredded apart. So it creates this kind of like, I don't know, over preparedness you have to say anything, because you're just like, it's like throwing meat to the wolves.
Sure.
You know, but most of the guys, dude, I'm like, where did you come from? And they're a bunch of anonymous accounts. And I'm like, I won't deal with anonymous accounts.
Yeah.
At this point, like, if they comment, they don't have a picture in their name.
Coward.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not going to engage. There's no point.
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
There's no accountability. They're just gonna say whatever they want.
If they're FBI, I know it.
Do you think on this note, not the FBI?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. We're just
well.
going.
Do you think it's wise for Christians to engage in discourse on social media?
Yeah, I think it can be, but I think it's more about, you know, what. First of all, what are you trying to get out of it? Who's the audience? And not necessarily every person you're engaging with is wise.
Right.
And actually, that's some of the points we'll go over. That's a good segue.
Yeah.
Into our, you know, I don't. This isn't super
Into
structured.
our show notes.
Yeah,
show notes.
into my show notes, into just some bullet points of things I wanted to bring up. Yeah. But there's you know, we have friends who have podcasts and stuff, and one of our friends he'll send me screenshots of his dialogues with guys, and I'm like, he has no problem.
Like in the comment section.
Yes.
Okay.
And he'll spend hours on his and I commend him for it, because I'm like, if it's YouTube, I won't go to the comments.
It's gnarly out
YouTube's
there.
the worst.
It's crazy.
YouTube comments are like, dude, everybody who ever lived in the woods just came out and had social media, and they're commenting on everything, you know? And it's not like a place, every social media entity kind of has its own stigma, right? In the Twitter world, if you don't know what you're talking about, you're going to be put in your place pretty quick, right?
That's probably a good thing. It sounds like a good thing.
Well, you're just going to be like, people, they won't hold back on you. Like, they'll
Sure.
tell you why you're dumb and why what you said was stupid.
Sure.
On YouTube, they don't do that. There's no accountability. There's no like, check yourself before you wreck yourself, you know? It's just everybody saying what they want.
Everyone
and so,
hates
yeah, you have guys like, oh yeah, that's clearly heretical. And if it was on Twitter, it would have been shredded by 100 guys,
Right.
you know, who were shredded, you know? On YouTube, it's just the backwoods, man. This is the Badlands,
Yeah.
you know?
We're
Anything
gonna
else?
go on YouTube here in the future,
We are.
and so we have to gird our loins,
Yeah.
and get ready for those darts in them comment sections. You know?
Yeah, fiery darts for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine. And every comment section is different. Like when I was on Bennis's the Menace podcast, doing the live the live YouTube episode.
Yeah, the debate.
No, just the last one or the last two. We just did live hangs.
Okay.
Yeah, like conversations where you're engaging live with people.
Oh, okay.
His audience is actually pretty great.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was surprised, but that's the live. He said
Almost as great as ours.
No, but
Oh my god.
our audience.
Yeah.
I love our audience, but all our audience is like my friends. So,
Yeah.
you know, and my parents. So,
My mom.
Actually, not even my parents. Just kidding.
Good morning, Mom.
Anyway, yeah, so it's cool. But he says once he publishes it, he doesn't look at it because it gets too dark.
Oh, I see.
It just gets like too much. It's
You
too
have
aggressive.
like a different crowd who
actually comes to watch.
And interact with.
And those are supporters. Those are guys who like your show.
Right. But then the moment that thing is published,
it's over.
Yeah.
All the sunshine's gone.
Sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, Cameron, when you discourse with people, you wanted to talk about this.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like this is a necessary topic to, maybe give pointers or, maybe some more wisdom in approaching, a difference of opinion or maybe just, defending something that you firmly believe, whether it's, defending the preborn in the womb, or I don't know, could be a conversation about, baptizing your babies or not baptizing your babies, like what, how do you think we should approach these conversations?
Yeah. Okay. So first part is why do I think it's necessary? Mm-hmm. And then second, how should we approach it? Okay. So I think why it's necessary and why I want to talk about it. A couple reasons. Something that comes to mind is like when we were doing our, the Nampa Pride Festival outreach, when we were going and talking to people, how many times when we were talking to people, next to someone who was aggressive and just didn't know how to discourse well, how often did it actually become a testimony for us?
Yeah, that was crazy. For those who haven't listened, I think specifically there was one man that I was, trying to share the gospel with towards the end of our day there at the Pride Festival. Dressed as a woman. Yeah, I think.
And just to be clear, we don't even think he identified as trans. I think he just dressed up for the event.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. And anyways, I'm trying to share the gospel with him, Ben and I, and this, multiple groups of people that were kind of leaving the festival were cursing and slandering me while walking by, and then they were telling this man that I was trying to share the gospel with, say, hey, like, come with us, like, don't listen to this bigot, stuff like that. And the homosexual man I was sharing the gospel with, him and his friend who was a girl, they both were defending us.
Yeah, because we're sensible.
Yeah, and
you guys were kind, you were patient, you were respectful.
Yeah,
yeah, you were telling them the truth.
Right,
you're doing it in love.
Yeah, and I wasn't yelling at them. I wasn't calling them, names. I was, the dude was wearing a dress. Yeah, but I knew that person needed Christ, so I was talking to him and treating him as a fellow image bearer of God. Yeah. A fellow bear.
Yeah, fellow bear.
And so I think that's actually a good point, is to, anytime we go into any conversation with anyone, is to remember that they have God's fingerprint on them. They're made in the image of God.
Yeah.
So we need to treat them as such, even if we disagree with them firmly.
Yeah, and it just goes, I think when we keep our heads, it goes to show that Christ is Lord. I think it's a way to glorify Christ, because when they walk away, if you never take the bait, if you never get upset, they will walk away and they will know it immediately. Yeah. They will know, and they'll think about it. It'll drive them crazy because they couldn't practice self-control. And I think just in general, our day, our generation, and probably the generation prior, we lost the love of discourse. We lost like the view that intellectual pushback and respectful dialogue, respectful pushback is an art form. It is something that's good for the profit of all. Because the ancient civilizations, debate was a good thing, and even debate has a negative connotation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When someone says, I don't want to debate you, what they mean is they don't want to fight and argue with you. Mm-hmm. That's not a debate. It can be, sure. You can go back and forth, but a debate is something that's different, and there's rules to the game. Mm-hmm. There's etiquette. And once you violate etiquette, you're no longer in a debate. You're in a fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A debate is like a spar. A fight is like you pulled your swords out or you're using your fists. You know, this is like a tactful and tactical. There we go. I put those together. Way of trying to see if your own ideas can even stand on the platform, have a place. You know, you come to not only push back against a different worldview, but you're also making sure that all your holes in your boat are filled.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way thing, and you're not just there to project, you're also there to learn. So, and then how should we go about, what'd you say? How should we go about navigating it? How should we navigate this second part? You forgot, didn't you?
Yeah.
But either way, it leads right into some of the bullet points. So I think the first one, actually, yeah, we'll come back to that later. There's a couple scriptures I think are good, but I think the first one is discern your audience. Discerning, knowing who you're talking to, and knowing like if there's certain people I won't dialogue with.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I think you have to know. And I'll say this, like even at that Pride Festival, for example.
Yeah.
Didn't know anyone really there. There were actually two people I recognized, but in general, the people we were talking to didn't know, never complete strangers, but we knew very quickly which ones to avoid and which ones to talk to. Yeah. And it wasn't, again, I just mentioned the one I spent the most time talking to was a guy wearing a dress. Yeah. So it wasn't like okay, this guy's wearing a dress, so I'm not going to talk to him. He's too far gone. It was, you know, who the guy who was not worth talking to. And when I say not worth talking to, it's not because he's not.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The guy on the front, the super loud, it was
masculine looking man, beard, all like just wearing a normal dude, tall, big dude, black shirt, black shorts.
Pistol on his hip.
Yeah. Handgun on his hip. Really tough guy. Yeah. Holding signs, blowing whistles.
Dude, that guy was so aggressive.
Yeah.
He said the most vile things.
He did.
To one of our guys.
To
Probably
me.
to you. Oh, to you as well. Yeah. I mean, including
and
your
Jeremiah.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking of Jeremiah.
Yeah.
That guy was aggressive, man.
Yeah.
That was, So
but,
that guy can't discourse.
Right. But that was the point, is like, it wasn't just based off of mere appearance, right? Yeah. That guy looked like the normal one at the festival. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to get. He was the
most exotic on the inside.
Yeah. You know what I mean? He was the one that you would not be able to talk to. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So there are people that, it's tossing pearls to swine. Yes. Essentially.
And don't do that.
You have to learn how to just discern that.
What does discernment require? As a father, what's one of the greatest things you can have is discernment, right?
Yeah.
And how do you get it?
Wisdom.
Right. And there's time, there's testing, there's failure. So it requires
that's great.
maturity.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to see that theme come up a lot as we continue to talk about it, is maturity and immaturity. It's a sign of immaturity, not discerning your audience. And that doesn't mean because you said something and they reacted bad, you didn't discern your audience. So this isn't the way you're being isn't determined by the way they're being. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that becomes that makes you hypersensitive, walking on eggshells. And now you only pair success with a certain outcome. You only that kind of defines what love is. And that's actually what gets into a lot of these conversations where there's a lot of, from the sidelines, Christians who are saying you shouldn't judge, you shouldn't discourse this way, you shouldn't be debate, you shouldn't be haughty or whatever. A lot of times what they're picking up on is they're seeing the reactions of the people you're talking to, and they don't like those reactions. And so they say, because that reaction is bad, what you're saying is bad. Right. And how you're being is bad. Right. That's not true. Look at Jesus. Yeah. At all.
Amen.
So Jesus is our example. And, he said whitewashed tombs. He said, he overturned the tables of the temple and whipped the hypocrites out of there.
The young rich ruler, go sell everything you have,
Okay,
and what did he do? He walked
went
away sad. Right?
Yes. He didn't say exactly what he wanted to hear. He said
Right.
what he needed to hear.
Yeah.
And he knew a weakness. He could see into his heart, and he knew what he loved, and that's what he attacked. So he was being a good shepherd right there. So that's mature. We're not saying, because the rich young ruler walked away sad, you failed, Jesus.
Right.
But that's what we say when we attack street preachers. And this, our next episode we're going to do is, I'm not going to say, but it's going to get into like street preaching and stuff and how critical we are of that, because of responses of people. But what happens when those who hate God in their heart hear the truth? They hate God more. They don't love God. So they hate of course they're going to hate what you say.
Yeah.
So this conversation, I think, this topic is best understood with how to dialogue with other professed Christians or peaceable people.
Yeah.
Because first is discern who you're talking to. Is this swine? And this is not like value-wise, are you swine? You uncultured swine? It's not what we're saying. Like you just said, this is a pearl, we're casting swine. This is a seed that's going to be instantly snatched from Satan. This is someone who's attacking the faith, the gospel. Is there any point to this?
Yeah.
Are they able to control themselves enough to have a conversation? If not, don't cast your pearls.
And but to the example I alluded to earlier with the guy who looked normal, right?
Yeah. Can't judge on the outside.
Right. And I also, you may or may not, this takes discernment, but not everyone is the same.
Yes.
But in this scenario, I remember I started talking to this guy and he was blowing the whistle in my face and all this stuff. And I gave it like about 5 minutes. I gave it a try.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you know what I mean?
Perfect.
I tried for like 5 minutes to just engage with the guy respectfully.
Yeah.
And after about 5 minutes, I realized, all right, this guy, this is actually taking away from the opportunity to share the gospel with people
others
who are receptive, will be receptive to it.
Yeah.
And
that's when it becomes vain.
Yeah. And I think no one can know for certain right away.
Yeah.
Without engaging at all with someone, whether Satan's just going to snatch the gospel away from them, right?
You don't go around looking and go, oh, that's a bad soil.
Exactly.
That's the wayside over there.
So I do think there's a level of you do have to engage the world, and everyone.
Yeah.
And look, here's the thing: even if they don't receive it, and you can discern quickly or on the quicker end of the conversation, this person's not. This conversation's not going anywhere. This person's not going to receive this today.
Yeah.
You at least preached the gospel to them.
Yes. And God's word will not return void.
Yeah. Amen.
100%.
That guy may come to Christ 10 years from now. You never know.
Yeah.
He may not, but you don't know. We're not God.
Yeah.
But we do know that God is doing a work that is beyond us. Right.
Yeah.
Where were you gonna go to next, dude?
Yeah, let's get the next point. I think that's great, man, because you can't just look on the outside and determine that. You gotta try, do your due diligence.
You have to at least try before, because I think some people will say they'll look at someone, they'll look at a man dressed in a dress, or I talked to a guy dressed in a squirrel suit or something like that.
Yeah,
and it's easy to say that's swine. Yeah, so I'm not even gonna go there. Yep. There's a Pride Festival. I'm not even going to go to the Pride Festival. I'm not even going to try. I'm just not even going to go.
They don't want to hear. If they wanted to hear, they wouldn't be there.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's not the way we're to engage the world. Right.
It's not the way Jesus did it or the apostles. All right. Next one is ask clarifying questions. I think that's a super important thing. Don't just think their position based on what church they go to,
what you've heard on YouTube.
What you've heard on YouTube. Yes. Yeah. Okay. They say they're, you watched a couple of videos about Mormonism. Dude, this is a great example. So, we've watched a lot of videos on Mormons. We've talked to Mormons. I was working at a different job, and one of my coworkers, we were talking one time, turns out he's Mormon, LDS. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, so I always like to ask right away. I'm like, so you really believe you're going to become a god one day? And just
said that though.
I said that. Yeah, I said that. Yeah. I said. Anyway, I said it. So to his face. No, I just asked him. You know, dude, he's the nicest guy. He's a true.
He's a Mormon.
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
This is what I found out. Yeah. So I asked him, you know, do you really believe you're going to become a God one day? His answer, no. I'm like, well, why do you go to the Mormon church then, dude? Because that's what your church teaches. And he's like, no, it doesn't.
Whoa.
And I'm like, bro, do you know Mormon doctrine? He's like, I've been going to this church for this many years. Of course I do. And he's a more simple guy. Like he's not super theological. And so, you got to work with you got to work with what's in front of you. I'm not going to demand him to be super theological. I got to help him understand.
Right.
And dude, it was frustrating afterwards. And I'll tell you why. It wasn't frustrating talking. He's great. I could still call him right now. He'd be like, hey, how you doing? You know, he's just super dad. But dude, I had to pull up the LDS website and show him from his own church's website, churchofjesuschrist.org, where they teach that the path of exaltation is that as God is, man, or as God once was, man is, as God is, man may become. The whole goal of Mormonism is to be Yahweh on another planet, to be a Yahweh.
Right.
It's not to be with Yahweh, it's to be Yahweh.
Right.
It's to replace God. It's to succeed God. It's not to be reconciled to the Father as a son. It's totally different. And that's why Jesus came, to show us how to exalt, how the path to live based on good works and merit of how to earn that and achieve that. It's a works-based system. That's why it's heretical. It's not the only reason why it's heretical. That's one of them, right?
Sure.
Now, explaining that all to him is challenging when you don't even know that your church believes there's more than one God. I had to tell him, dude, your religion has the most gods. Infinite amount of gods, more than Hinduism. You have more gods. You have the most polytheistic religion on the planet. And that's a big pill to swallow. Dude, he couldn't accept it. I told him to, hey, go ask your elders. They will tell you. And he did. And I don't think they did. I think that they gave him a watered down version, because he was very clear there is one God and we will not be God. I'm like, okay, so you're not really Mormon.
Right.
You think you are. You don't know what Mormon is, and you don't know what Christianity is. You're in between.
Yeah.
You need to leave, man. You know, I really tried to get him to, like, hey, man, just talk to your elders, because once you hear this from the horse's mouth, you know.
Well, the difference too with the Mormon church, it's a cult. So you have probably
like a cult, COLT.
Yeah, like a horse. No, it's a cult. But you have this guy you're describing who sounds like he's, you know, probably been a part of the church for a handful of years, but, you know, isn't as devoted to his scriptures, right?
This is where it shows we need to be competent.
Yeah. So then what he does is he goes to his elders with a question for the first time. I'm assuming. Do you know what I mean?
Question like that, probably.
Right. And the elders go on high alert. Oh, someone's prodding at, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Because they're trained. They hear these. They know.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. You go to any Mormon, an older Mormon, and you ask them that question.
Of course.
Well.
Of course they do. Oh,
they beat around the bush, dude.
Oh, yeah.
They don't give you. I actually haven't engaged as many Mormons as you have, but.
Because they're trying to change it for the next generation of Mormons.
Yes.
Yeah, they're revising the narrative.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what you do when you're a cult.
Yep, you have to make it more tasteful.
To control the narrative.
So they know that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
So they have to
say it in a way. Yep.
So
exactly.
I think that's probably what happened to your friend.
No, that's exactly what happened. That's what I said. Part that frustrated me is because I know he got that when he went, because he came back and I asked him, like, what'd he say, you know? And he's like, yeah, you know, he kind of like made sense to me. You know, he did the whole, you know, yeah, but the Bible says you'll be like God, and don't you want your son to be better than you, and kind of give you that whole Mormon garbage.
Right.
Right.
Scuba.
I want to say other words, but I will censor myself. Anyway, yeah. So that point right there is just to, did I say discern your audience? Discern your audience. Know who you're talking to. And if that's on social media, when the guy's writing in all caps,
yeah,
you know one of two things. One, he's either super mad, super aggressive and loud, or two, he doesn't know how to type.
Yeah.
And that's equally concerning.
Yeah, that's funny.
So if you're there,
it could be an older guy. Caps lock is on.
Well, because dude, like, don't even try. Because
that happens.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Because you might misread what he's saying, and you come off charge now.
Yeah.
And he's just this old guy he's happy.
Yeah. John
dude,
Corson.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So through social media, you have particular challenges you have to work around, but do as much as you can to discern and be able to see who is talking to you.
I think too, like something that should be obvious, but anytime you see in social media or in person, personal attacks. And when I say personal
ad hominem,
when you hear people, you know, if they don't like what you say after the first couple, sentences, and they start saying like, you look ugly. I don't know, like
they just make it personal.
Right. They make it personal. And then that's when I would say,
it's actually, that's a debate fallacy.
Right.
We should do an episode on debate fallacies and tactics.
Yeah. And so that happens a lot. And I was actually just watching a debate. I wish I remembered their names. They're really popular. Two young, super woke dudes. Very good at communicating. But anyways, they were debating this other Christian dude on abortion. And, dude, when they started getting pinned and cornered on their worldview, all they could do is just like mock and laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're telling me you believe that because of your religion, you don't believe in science? Just this immature, like you said, maturity.
Yeah.
There's this lack of maturity that can't handle the truth,
Well, it's not that they can't handle the truth. They can't, but it's also just, they can't actually defend their own case.
Correct.
They have nothing to respond with it. They have, it just means they lost.
Right.
When you resort to mockery like that, there's a time to mock, man. Elijah mocked, Jesus mocked, John mocked. There's a time, but I don't think it's ever in discourse where it's a truly push, back and forth pushback.
Right.
And the kind that Jesus partook in, really was exposing and honest and straightforward right to their face about it.
Yeah.
This is your issue.
Yeah.
And he told them, with the kind of mockery you're talking about, it's a way to actually distract from the argument because you don't have a response.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that's a good point. Cause I not to mix it up with Jesus literally called them, you whitewash tombs, They
were though.
Exactly. And Elijah, mocking the prophets of Baal.
And he was right.
Yeah.
He was showing that, hey, your worldview, this is the God you worship. If this is the God you worship, why wouldn't he be doing this?
Right.
What's to say he isn't?
Right.
Who is he? You don't even know who he is.
Right.
This is a false God.
Right.
You can make fun of false God. And he was making fun of someone else, not the people too, in front of him. Not to say that you can never do that, but I'm just saying like the subject was their God, right? That he was mocking. We can mock the same God, with the guys you're talking about. Was it like the Young Turks or whatever, those guys?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. So when he says, "Oh, you don't believe in science," when he has the classic bully voice.
It's literally what he sounded like too.
Yeah. It's the classic bully, dude. Anyone can do it. You asked ChatGPT in a dialogue to sound like a bully in middle school, dude, not even high school. And that's the voice that comes out, or it's O'Doyle rules, in elementary. But, so he has to, if he would have stopped and asked him like, wait, actually, do you believe in science? He probably would have said yes. So he's not mocking on something truthful.
Right.
He's revising, he's summarizing what he thinks the guy believes in mockery.
Yeah.
It's cowardice.
Yeah. He actually responded with, he responded with a scientific, answer, an objection.
And they're like, what's that?
Just kind of like, he brought up the induction, the law of induction and all that. And, it was funny because you see the faces of these guys go from like mocking and like, to like, just kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know what are you getting at, dude?
For the people, can you summarize induction in like a sentence?
Yeah, it's essentially knowing how can we know that the past is going to be like the future.
Yes.
And so
the future is going to be like the past.
Or sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
How do we know that tomorrow or this evening is going to be like yesterday evening?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And as Christians, we have an answer to that. We should do an episode on it. That'd be fun, dude.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I thought about this, the Sunday school apologetics thing I went through.
Yeah.
I feel like it went through all the major methods. It'd be fun to just go through it together, talk about it.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And just like go off the points and have our own conversation.
Yep.
That'd be fun because actually going down each apologetical method is super fun.
Yeah.
And you're talking about induction, which is in the category of the uniformity of nature.
Yeah.
And it's that if you want to wait.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah. That if you don't believe there's a God, there's no reason to believe logically that tomorrow will be like today because it's chaos, it's disorder. There's nothing holding it.
Yeah.
So you can't have what we would say confidence, which is the Latin confide, which means with faith. Mic drop to Sci-10 Breckengate. Okay.
Yeah.
Next point. Anything on that before we move on?
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, we should talk about induction on another episode.
Yeah, we really should.
The law of induction.
The law of induction. Okay, so I said the next one, they're kind of paired, and we kind of already touched on them, but don't assume their motive or attitude, and assume the best.
Yeah, dude, that's great. I think that changes the tone of the conversation.
It really does. Yeah.
If both people, but even if just one person goes into it, assuming the best intentions.
Yeah.
And assuming the best out of that person, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh, this person is attacking me and challenging my worldview because they hate me or something. You know, I got into a conversation with my previous manager about her worldview. She's an atheist.
Yeah.
And I brought it up because of certain reasons. I wasn't just trying to randomly bring up or challenge her worldview randomly. There were reasons and things that led to that conversation. And
came up naturally.
It was very chill, like on my end, objectively. And she did not like it. She ended up leaving and
complaining.
She went and complained to the boss, and it was kind of wild. But the thing that she complained to the boss about was I was challenging her morality, and or she brought up some charge that made it seem that like she assumed the worst intentions out of me. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, first she assumed your motives.
Right.
Instead of asking you.
Right.
And then she assumed the worst version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's two parts.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's frustrating.
Whereas when you talk to someone who you do assume the best out of that person, conversation, the tone of it, it can go in such better directions.
Well, not only might it go, but you can sometimes even steer it when it's not. So based on how you're going to respond by assuming the best, that, hey, maybe he's just genuinely asking because of this, the way you respond can be disarming and actually help that conversation come to a natural conclusion somewhere. Instead of continuing to build up and you're not throwing coals on the fire, you're not throwing wood on the fire. You're not throwing logs. You know what I'm saying? You're not throwing 7 logs on the fire.
Nice.
You're putting water on it. And so don't assume their motives. And something I try to do, like whenever, even on social media, when someone responds, the first thing I do is I want to ask them a question before I answer their question or their objection or whatever. And I look at their profile.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, maybe I can find out where they're coming from their posts. So like if I'm in a group, I'll click on their name and I could see their posts in that group. What else have they said? Have they been just going around arguing with people? I can see like the last, 5 or 6 posts or whatever. And then on their profile, do they have it just outspoken? You know, are they clearly a full preterist or whatever? I'm like, okay,
Right.
now I know who I'm dealing with.
Right.
I don't need to ask anymore because I can read their own statement,
Right.
you know? But just ask clarifying questions, because even sometimes we assume people are good communicators. We expect people to be good communicators. And so we actually think they're going to tell us what they mean in the first version of what they say.
Sure.
And they don't usually.
Yeah.
You know, when we find that out, we're like, are you saying this? No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah. We talk past each other.
We talk past each other.
I was actually talking to Dan Fedoroff about, sorry, I had a name drop about that the other day. And that it's important that we were talking about theonomy.
Yeah.
And I was specifically telling him how we haven't done an episode on theonomy yet because, one, I'm still trying to nail down exactly why or how I believe in it.
Yeah.
Before I, put it out for the world to hear my lousy interpretation of it, right?
Yeah.
I want to have it a little more tuned up, but oftentimes we talk right past each other. So when I say theonomy, there's a thought that comes up, a presupposition of what
So you want to force everyone to worship God?
Yes.
And you're like, wait, when did I say that?
Exactly.
Just tell me when I said it.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
No, I did not.
Just, can you repeat back to me the last three things I said? You know?
Right. And so it's important. It's also important. This is like 101, debate is defining terms.
Yes,
Right?
dude. I'm so glad you said that. We need to do a debate tactics one, because this is where it's leading. And I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, defining terms is one of the most crucial things you can do right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Dude, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
What is that word? When you say that, when this phrase comes up, when you say, are you this, what is that? Define that for me. And then I can agree with it or not.
We did an episode on defining love, that word love, because that word is tossed around so often.
Yeah.
Right. And we just took a whole episode of, okay, biblically, what is love?
Yeah.
Baby, don't hurt me.
What is love?
But I think here's the thing: you could go into a conversation with well intentions to share the gospel with someone, and then you could say something, and that person
reacts to that word,
not knowing your definition, but using their definition of that word.
Yeah.
Then the whole conversation, you're talking past each other, only to find out maybe at the end of the conversation, oh, you meant that? Oh. Amen, brother.
I
you know what I
dealt
mean?
with this personally.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yes. And not too long ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Where you say something
With your wife?
No, not with my
kidding.
wife. But yeah, where you say something, you give your position, and they don't ask what you mean by that, and they assume you mean something different, and the whole thing is based off of that.
Yeah.
At the very end, you're like, no, this is what I meant by that, and you're like, why did we just have this conversation for an hour?
Yeah.
When this is what I meant from the beginning, and you agree with that. 100%, man.
Yeah. It's helpful for everyone when you define terms and ask if someone, maybe someone's not thinking in that way. So when they say something, you ask them, when you say this word, what do you mean by that? Give me your interpretation of that word, right?
Yeah. And dude, post-mill is one of those words in all-mill circles specifically. And then all-mill is one of those words in pre-mill circles. And then dispensational is one of those words in post-mill circles. But it's kind of clear if you're dispensational for the most part. I think because it's very structured, very outlined. But the person individual you're talking to, the individual person, might not agree with certain things that their system does.
Sure.
So you just have to ask. But yeah, if you drop those words, there's a hypersensitivity, and there's an emotional reaction. And it's like our I can throw our pastor under the bus here. He said to us, he was like, and he was teasing us, but he was like, yeah, man, before you guys came to our church, I wanted to punch the next post-mill guy in the face. He totally wouldn't. He's like this most sensitive guy, but he was just teasing, but he was being sweet to us, because he was saying like, hey, I like you guys. You guys aren't like the knuckleheads that I've dealt with that have been overly aggressive.
Yeah.
And and it allows for conversation, define terms, discourse, all those things is more fun. But yeah, definitionally we're all mill anyways. So is every post-mill person I know. Anyways, moving on. Next point. No, I guess we actually said that. Seek to understand their position. That was
Yeah.
the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
So due diligence.
See, I looked at your notes before I knew that you had
how'd
notes.
you do that? Did you have my face in your face for my unlock? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So here we go. Know when to listen and when to speak.
Yeah.
I think that's super crucial. That's just a practical one.
Mm-hmm.
There's a time to listen and there's a time to speak.
There's a time to let people, as Greg Bonson says, you let them hang themselves with their own words.
Give them enough rope
Yep.
that you make a noose out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a certain point when you're like, to understand their position, that with someone you're discoursing with, sometimes it is good to let them kind of run on for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then what you can do is, but hold on to what they say. Hold on to that rope.
Yeah.
Right. And then come back to it and say, don't let them get away with, and it also depends on the topic probably, but, you do need to listen and let them, assuming the best of them. Right. Mm-hmm. But you need to listen and actually give them the space to say what they're trying to say.
Yes.
Instead of just interjecting and interrupting or muting them if you're doing a webcam,
Yeah. Just mute them and start talking.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what, man? There's actually a double-sided coin there, double-sided blade. Okay. There's two parts to that. Because yes, you're right. Let them talk. But the other part, actually, the responsibility lies on the person talking to stay on topic.
Yeah.
Because I think something that really, I don't want to say frustrates me, but it overwhelms me. And it's just overwhelming for anybody, is that when someone overwhelms you, when someone is going from point to point to point to point to point, and then you let them talk for 5 minutes and they gave you 30 things, and it's actually reckless. It's reckless on their behalf, because you can't, for number one, you can't answer all 30.
You're not going to answer anything.
You're going to start with 2, and they're going to already start to object. They're not going to allow you to respond to 30. They're going to let you talk to 3, and they're going to walk away and said, he didn't answer my objections.
Yeah.
Well, you gave 30, you let me talk to 3, you kept giving me more. And by the time you get to 29, they don't remember what 1 or 2 is. So you're going to reference, hey, you said this, and they're going to say, no, I didn't say that. I honestly like to do these things recorded. I like it to be a record, because I can say, hey, you said this right here.
Yeah.
If it's written down, I actually prefer that, because I'm like, it's right here. You said it.
Yeah.
I'm going to quote you and you can't deny it. But if we're in a conversation, they can say, oh, I never said that.
Right.
Or have witnesses, have someone else there or whatever. Obviously you can't do that in every setting, and don't just go recording people when they don't know. But, if they're kind of that flavor of person, they're just going to unload on you. You're never going to be able to answer all of their objections. You can start, but they're going to overwhelm you, you know? So let them speak, but also if they start to go off topic, if they're giving too many objections, that's a good time to interrupt and say, excuse me, you're adding more. I need to be able to answer those.
Let's deal with what's on the table first.
Yes. Deal with these things. What are your actual contentions? Because you're giving me so many. You're just contending.
Yeah.
You're not giving me contentions.
Yeah. It's like sitting in a restaurant looking at the menu, but there's food on the plate. Yeah. And you're like, let's deal with the food on the plate. Let's not look at the dessert.
And then look at dessert.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's deal with this, and then we'll get to dessert.
Because if you're just looking at dessert, your food gets cold.
Yeah.
And then you sat for 4 hours. 6 hours.
Just talking about the dessert.
It's in the danger zone for time temperature control.
Yeah.
You ate that and got food poisoning.
Oh my goodness.
You died.
Oh my goodness.
And then he ate your dessert. You know what I mean? Like it, I agree with you. You got to, you got to let them cook a bit, but you don't want to let them cook too much, because then they burn. It burns.
Sure. Yeah. Medium rare.
You want a medium rare.
Keep it medium rare. Keep the conversations and the discourse at a medium rare temp.
Keep it beef. Like we need a word for that. Keep medium rare. Keep it medium rare. That's good, man. Cook it enough to serve it.
When you have beef, keep it medium rare.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's tofu, just don't even bother.
No.
Yeah. So I think enough on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
Enough. Okay, and then all right, here's a good one. Just let's just burn through these quick. Don't take the bait.
Oh yeah,
This
knowing
one
when to take the bait.
And yeah,
or when to bite and when not to bite.
Exactly. I should have said it that way. Know when to snag, when to bite, and when to pass over. Right. This is actually probably my top priority when I just discourse with somebody. Don't take the bait. And dude, it is so hard to resist sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like trying to resist crack cocaine when you're coming off of it. You know what I mean?
Like you like you got to know, one, what is the ultimate goal of this conversation? Where are you trying to take this person?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because
they're going to try and run off.
They're going to do these runoffs.
Yes.
Right? And so you're going to give you these little hooks that you're going to want to snag.
Yes.
And then it's going to totally distract and divert the conversation into a different
it
goal,
actually,
a different result.
Yeah.
But you need to keep your eyes on, okay, what is the end result that I'm trying to get?
A
out
clean
of this?
house.
It's
like
a
clean house.
Did you see the video of Jeff Durbin in Georgia?
Yeah.
With the Jewish lady?
Yeah.
Okay, so the amount of times she gave him so many hooks about,
Dude, guys,
right?
that guy, okay, Jeff Durbin's kind of one of this. I know he's not the standard because Jesus is the standard, but that guy impresses me with his ability to just under pressure and fire and arrows and swords and legions, dude, just stand there and address one thing.
Yeah. Oh, he knows when to take the bait.
He's a professional.
He knows when to bite.
He does this for a living. He's very good at it. He's skilled.
Yeah.
It's good for us to learn from guys like him.
He was there defending a bill that was going to protect children in the womb.
Protection.
Yeah, give equal protection rights to children in the womb.
Yeah.
And that's why he was there. This lady was asking him questions about, her faith as a Jew, how this would impact it. And he knew, she gave him so many, he's an apologist, right? He defends the faith and shares the gospel with people. And so there were so many opportunities and so many nuggets that this lady threw at him that he could have easily just chomped on.
Let me tell you, dude, they weren't chicken nuggets.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Because that would have been sweet.
And but he knew, I'm here for a purpose, a specific purpose.
I have 1 minute.
Right.
I need to say exactly what I need to say, nothing more, nothing less.
And it's also a testimony. When you can exercise that type of restraint,
it's and say, Spirit.
I'm not going to dive down that. We're talking about this.
Yes.
Whatever this is, right? I'm not gonna, maybe it's a personal attack. Don't bite it.
Yes.
Don't respond to that.
Yes.
Keep going down.
Don't take the bait.
Yeah, don't take the bait.
Because here's the thing. It's like trying to clean your house and you walk in the bathroom, you start cleaning it, and immediately walk in the kitchen and start cleaning it, then immediately walk in the next bedroom. You get through the whole house, it's filthy.
Still messy,
You didn't deal with a single room. And you wasted a bunch of time. And now you're like, shoot, I have to start over. Let's go back to the beginning. And that's exactly what we do in conversation. We have to start from the beginning. So 100%. If you want to hear more with Jeff Durbin, just watch their latest episodes because they go over the conversation with the Jewish representative. And I think with in the same one, they talk about the black representative. And that was her own words. She asked him if he identifies as black.
She like, do you identify as a
black man? And dude, there's an example. He said in there, he's like, what I wanted to say more than anything.
Yeah, dude, yes. Yeah. He wanted.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Because he would have entered into her folly to show her that it's folly.
Yeah.
But he practiced self-control and he's like, this is not the time. It's not going to be effective. He was able to discern the outcome and he says, this will be in vain. What I'm trying to achieve here will not happen. This whole thing will be for nothing if I take this bait. But that's good bait. That's a hearty bait.
Yeah.
Right there,
Yeah. Do you identify this black woman asking this white man, do you identify as a black man?
Because it would have just destroyed her contention.
Yeah. I identify as a black woman, like hop into her worldview and expose the folly of it. Like
he could have given a list of things. Yeah. What he identifies as.
But that wasn't the point of why he was there.
Yes.
And so he resisted.
Yeah. So impressed, man. So impressed.
And just answered it directly. No, I'm a white man. I think it's pretty obvious to everyone in this room, right? No, that's a great example.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So discern when to end the conversation, and specifically don't judge it prematurely. So I see this a lot. And then we kind of touch on this. We don't talk a whole lot on this point, but when someone says, "Oh, I don't want to discuss with you," because they won't even give it a try, because they assume that you're going to be emotional. They assume that you're going to react bad. So they prematurely end the conversation.
Like in the middle of the conversation?
Before.
Oh, before it even starts?
Like, okay, think about, like, you talk about Calvinism or eschatology. Someone's like, I'm good. I don't have those discussions. They don't end well. Usually what that means is you don't end well.
Yeah,
you don't play well.
Yeah.
But
well, I don't know.
It doesn't always. It
yeah,
doesn't always.
Because I know of certain people.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I know that there's certain people not to engage in certain conversations about theology with
Discern
or
your
whatnot.
audience.
And I only know that because I already have.
You already have. And you're like, oh, not you.
Yeah.
You're not the one.
Yeah.
You're not for me. 100%. I remember I talked to one of the managers of Augie's at the Claremont location when I was working there. And, she was an atheist. And I was like, hey, we were talking one time and we started talking about the faith. And she was like, oh, I don't think this is a good idea. Like, you're probably going to get upset. And she's like, I've talked to a lot of Christians and they always say they're not going to get upset. And they always do, including one of our coworkers who tried the same thing, 6 months prior or a year prior, and they just don't talk about it anymore. And I was like, try me. Let's go for it. You know? And it was a great conversation.
Yeah.
And I almost find like I now like take it upon me. I feel like to redeem those conversations, to be able to show you like, hey, actually we can discourse well.
Yeah.
And we can be respectful, and we can just push back gently and faithfully and honestly, and not get emotional, not throw daggers at you, not assume what you're going to say. And it was a great conversation. This isn't a, pat on my back or anything, because this happens all the time with people that are way better at it than I am.
I thought you were going to say this happens all the time with me.
Yeah, this happens every day, actually.
Not a pat on the back, but I mean, I have
but I'm out there doing it every day.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that. And I've had my failures, and I've taken bait. I've not discerned. I've done, the reason we know this list is because we've done it wrong. Right?
Yeah.
We're examples of failure.
Amen.
But that goes to show, like, she wanted to judge it prematurely.
Yeah.
And I get it. It depends on the conversation. You may not be willing to invest in it and know that beforehand. And that's fine to say, hey, I'm not right now. I'm just not willing to give it what you deserve for this conversation.
Yeah. Maybe I'm in a different headspace today.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a rough day and I'm like, I just don't have the energy for it.
Yeah. Or it's like,
fine.
hey, I actually physically just don't have time because I got to be somewhere in 30 minutes and I know this is going to go 2 hours.
Yeah.
Let's reschedule.
Cool.
That's fine too.
Yeah.
But also know when to judge it and end it rightly. So this could be, you're 30 minutes deep. It's not going anywhere. Go, hey, you know what? I don't think we're getting anywhere with this. Why don't we step away, come back later, come back another time and talk about it.
Let's sleep on it.
I remember I was talking to a previous owner of one of the businesses we work for, and it was not my favorite conversation. And he brought it up. He let it all. I was just responding to him, and he was my boss. So I'm like, he's asking me about these things. I'll talk about it. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to pretend I'm not a Christian. Yeah. And I'm a different kind of Christian than he says he is, because I believe the scriptures and he doesn't.
Right.
And, at the end of it, he said something like, I'm just not that familiar with your arguments here. And so I was like, here's a good idea. Why don't you go? And my family was there. My son and wife were there waiting for me at this point. I'm closing, and he wants to keep talking about it. And I was like, so why don't you go like research this, and then we'll come back and continue the conversation. That way you have something to talk about. I'm like, that's reasonable. And he got offended, and he was like, I feel like you're giving me an assignment, and I'm not gonna do that. It's very passive aggressive. Wasn't a big fan of it, but it just goes to show he didn't want it to resolve. But I just needed to end it, because I'm like, this is not getting anywhere. I need to end this here. Anyway, I don't want to say his name or anything like that. And if you figure it out, that's on you. I don't care. But so knowing when is a good time, if they're getting emotional, which is one of the biggest problems, is we're overly sensitive. Dude, it's so easy to rustle our feathers. So easy to make our hair stand up. We need to be better about that and to be able to take a little more heat, pressure, and to not react emotionally, practice self-control, and be okay with disagreement. Like, you don't have to agree with me on this, you know? At the end of the day, it's the Lord's work, not mine. I'm just a sower. I'm just a waterer, you know? So anything on that?
No, yeah, I think about that manager that you referenced that you were at Augie's, and how, you know, in her experience, she said, like, anytime she's talked to a Christian, you know, about these things, she gets an emotional reaction and it doesn't go well. So she's already, like, even more at odds to having the gospel shared with her. Yeah. Essentially. Do you know what I mean? Yep. And it sounded like in this specific situation, right? It was in her mind, it's like, well, it's the Christians can't handle it. It's them. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's such a failure in testimony to us. Christ. Yeah. You know, like, I think
that we're the emotional ones.
Yeah. Like, I think we're to be able to have these conversations and be able to, you know, exercise self-control and not allow things to wreck us emotionally in these conversations, you know?
Well, where do you learn it?
Where do you learn what?
Where would a kid learn how to discourse?
From you. I don't know.
Not from me personally, from his father.
Oh, that's what I meant, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So from his father. And what's one of our biggest issues right now?
Fatherlessness.
We're a fatherless generation. Yeah, we're a bunch of Neanderthals. We're a bunch of bastard children. So, you know, bastard children don't know how to be fathers, don't know how to be shepherds. So, and whether your father was absent presently or emotionally, you know, that differs from person to person. But we do see fruit of fatherlessness. And one of those is we need to learn from our fathers. So, which means you fathers, you need to learn you need to be discoursing well already. And if you don't, just learn, just practice. You need to nail this down because your kids are watching you and they're going to learn it. Last point is to have charity. I think because there was one more, but we already touched on it. So have charity. Yeah. You know, you don't like we said, be overly emotional. Don't be aggressive. Don't
make it lighthearted.
Make it lighthearted.
You know what I mean? Like,
you can control it any way you want. You could say something fun in there. You could compliment them.
Yeah.
You could say, hey, here's what we agree on. That's cool.
Yeah.
And here's where we disagree. So we're close, but we're not all the way there.
Yeah.
And you can find ways to have charity.
Yeah.
And to see the big picture of we're Christians. Yeah. We're allowed to disagree on a lot of things. Dude, we act like everything is an essential issue. Yeah. And not you and me. Sometimes we might, but us as Christians notoriously, especially in the Reformed world, if you're Paedo-Baptist, you're not a true Christian. If you're Baptist, you're not a true Christian. Right. You know, pick whatever argument you want. Yeah. Obviously, there's been diversity in the last 2,000 years on a various range of topics that you don't have to agree with every Christian on. It's a matter of hermeneutics, you know? So any last words, Marshall? We went an hour.
Wow.
We tried 30 minutes and went an hour. I'm sorry.
Great. No, that's good.
Let me end just with a passage. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. I'll leave it there. Proverbs 15:1. I'm like, just read that whole chapter. Yeah. Because I actually referenced a lot of it, but that's the foundation. A soft answer turns away wrath. Yeah. A harsh word stirs up anger. And so that means your words can stir up anger in people too. Yep. Don't just say, you know, I could say whatever, and if they react emotionally, that's on them. You can provoke people. So don't provoke recklessly.
There you go.
There's the way to prod and provoke in a good way, you know, but don't provoke for emotionalism. You know, don't provoke for a reaction like that. Yeah. So anyway, sorry for taking so long.
So long.
Yeah.
No.
So did an hour. Okay. Next one's going to be 5 minutes. So, all right. Well, any last words, Marshall?
No.
Really? Okay, truly. Okay. Well, thank you for listening. If you have any comments, you can email us at the average
apologist at
Nope. The Average Apologist podcast. Oh. I know. The Average Apologist was taken. Otherwise, that would have been so perfect. If you find that guy, let me tell you, I might email that email and say, hey, can I have your email?
Can I have your number?
Can I have your digits?
Can I have your email?
Yeah.
Yeah. Email us questions.
Yeah. Or on Spotify, you can just respond there. But all right. Well, yeah, if this was helpful, let us know. If you disagree, let's discourse well about it. All right. Peace.
Later.